Mm. Are we rolling? I guess we're rolling. Sorry. I had to eat something. You know. We gotta stay fed. But today marks the 50th episode of this podcast. I am so happy. Been doing this since I want to say March, and it is has been a pretty good run, and I am ready for another episode. So that's what we're doing. And let's see, which have we done a I don't know if we've done a podcast episode about podcasting. So let's see. We've done all of those. We have not. We've done podcast specials, but we've done TikToks and YouTube videos. So why not keep the ball rolling and go and do a podcast, like first podcast episode. So yeah, let's get into it. So I wasn't really nervous about starting my podcast. It was more of like excitement because it was a new beginning, it was a new chapter, especially because it was like around the beginning of the year that I started it. It's been super fun, like stressful sometimes because editing and keeping up with all of it. Because I also have the YouTube channel. I'm working on a couple projects behind the scenes, stuff that I've already told you guys about, but I haven't really been like I'm excited. Like it's coming to like closer and closer for one of the projects to happen, and I am excited. I'm not gonna say which one it is because that's for you guys to find out in a couple months. Other than that, it's been a ride. Like I've literally, there's been days that I've forced myself to film. Like I'm sure you guys can hear it in my voice when I do that, but it's because I had like not depression per se, but like burnout. Burnout is something that happens with a lot of people. A lot, like especially when we're busy. Like I have work, I have the projects, I have the YouTube channel, I have the podcast. Am just like also editing as well, and I'm about to actually be batch filming, so like pre-filming and that kind of stuff for the upcoming like weeks or so because I have to next week I had well the I'm filming this prior I'm filming on a Thursday. It's going up next week. Well, on Wednesday, the following week. So next week I have another test and my final for one of my classes. So I'm gonna be studying for that, and then the following week, like that next week, I'll be probably filmed 2 episodes. The following week, film another 2 episodes, just so that I could be ahead of schedule and film. I just have to figure out stuff to film about. So, guys, come on. Send in your guys' stories. I want to put a lot of your guys' stories into one episode and just read through them and like give you guys a episode in your like of yourself, and instead of like having a guest on. I just want to like in a way have you guys as my guests. So also you guys can leave a voicemail, and if you feel comfortable enough of me playing it in the episode, I will play it in the episode. Just it's crazy. Like I have my phone, I'll just I could play it through that. But first episode, I was just excited. Like yeah, I was nervous going into it. Like I didn't know how it was gonna be, because like yeah, the podcast hasn't taken off like that seriously, but I've definitely started putting a lot of energy and everything into it, which has definitely benefited the podcast. Like yeah, there was times that I filmed outside. That was because my mom was home during, what was it, summer break from school. So like I was saying, I'm gonna end up pre-filming for that as well. Like a lot of the stuff that I'm gonna pre-film is gonna get saved on, like I save all of my episodes onto a flash drive just in case something happens. And yeah, I just save it onto a flash drive, I back it up onto a flash drive, and it, yeah, so far I'm on my third flash drive. Right now I'm working on a 64 gigabyte flash drive. I don't want to get like a actual, like I don't understand the whole wow, the whole storage blocks, because yeah, especially for a laptop, because I edit on my laptop. And yeah, I know I probably should get a one of the storage blocks. I don't know what they're called. I really don't know what they're called. That is how tech savvy I am. Like I'm tech savvy in like gaming wise, but at the same time, like computer wise, I'm not tech savvy. Like I'm tech savvy with like all the programs, just not like hardware. Like I could work a computer, Microsoft computer, Dell computer, whatever you want to call it. I could boom 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 get things done. But when it comes to all of the hardware and all of that, like wireless mouse, wireless keyboard, whatever, that's easy to figure out. It's more of the, sorry. Oh, why am I yawning so much? It's more of the storage blocks and Wi-Fi routers and all of that I would literally need somebody else to do for me, because that just makes no sense for me. Like I really don't understand any of it. How did we get onto this damn subject? Like, it's supposed to be about the first podcast episodes. But we're gonna go ahead and take a break and be right back. My lecture is about to start, so yeah. Might just skip it. Heck, I've been teaching myself the whole entire class. So I'm back. I literally skipped left lecture because I'm pissed off right now. Sorry. Um, doesn't look like we're getting the 5% from course evaluation. Because half of the classmates didn't want to fucking do it. Excuse my French. Just a little ASMR. Just a little ASMR. What if I did a ASMR episode? Like it was just me making noises. That would be weird. That would make me uncomfortable because like ASMR videos, like silence just is like weird. Um, but yeah, the first episode, couple episodes, it was a little iffy because I didn't really know. Like it wasn't that I didn't know. It was more of the fact that like I was still new to the platform. Well, not it's not like a platform per se. It's just like I was still new to the podcasting scene. Like I'd been doing YouTube for like 3 years, 3 or 4 years. 2022, graduated 2018. Yeah, about 4 years. So like that's been a long time. So I'm used to filming, and which yeah, I have the video. Do have the video portion on YouTube on my YouTube channel, but it's not like I haven't. It's not like I have ever just done like audio per se. It's not like I've ever really done something for like mainly audio listeners and all of that. Like it's still new to me. Like I want to take a marketing class to really understand everything in order, like not everything like dealing with a podcast, but it's more of the fact that like I I just it's been a while for me. Like, yeah, I'm still getting the hang of like doing podcasts. Like I'm gonna say that straightforward. Like I'm still getting used to doing that podcast and all of that. But I yeah, my phone's blowing up. I will be right back. No break, no ad though. So you guys are lucky. So I am back. I completely forgot what I was talking about. My phone was blowing up, and I really yeah. So let's go ahead and go through all of the episodes that we've done so far. So the first episode wasn't really like that difficult. It was I just didn't really understand the whole like how to talk during a podcast type of thing. Like what I didn't really understand is that it's just like a regular conversation. Like as if I was having a regular conversation with somebody. Um so the first episode was coming out, like my like coming out story. Um Me receiving items from brands is the second. Third one was the sexual assault and harassment, which the guy that recently, not recently, but a couple months ago, well, I guess you can say recently, had verbally sexually harassed me is no longer working at my job. So I am happy. Like, I think that they said that he quit. I wonder why. Maybe next time you shouldn't verbally sexually harass somebody. Like, it wasn't just me that he did it to. It was other people. Like, you would think that HR would have done something, but they didn't. The next one was jobs, because I've only had 3 jobs. The following one was smoking weed. What? I thought that one was after. I don't know. Then it was boyfriends, and then after that, we had making music with Sebastian, and New Year's resolutions with Jeffrey and Meadow. Then we had UFOs, weddings, makeup, skincare, celebrity crushes, karaoke, sugar parent scams, out of state, like times that I've been out of state. Then we had interviews, therapy, on stage, times that I was on stage, times that I was out of the country, concerts, like times that I've been to a concert, racetrack, like times that I've been to a racetrack, art, androgynous fashion, using my voice to pretty much speak up about stuff. So that would have been a podcast. Well, no, times that I've used my voice. I don't remember which one it was. But yeah, I think it was me using my voice. I talked about burnout, pets, gaming, podcast special, current events, drag, like times I've done drag, birthdays, drinking alcohol, which I have stopped doing. I don't drink alcohol anymore. Besides, I like the only time that I'll actually drink alcohol is on a special event. Like one that is coming up soon in a couple months. But it's not like I'll go overboard anymore. It's more limited because I have a trouble stopping. So, yeah. Shopping, trying Kava and Kratom, which I still drink to this day. It is a blessing in disguise. A very big blessing. Piercings, mukbangs, attending college, writing music, studying, hurricanes, using my voice part 2, supplements, another podcast special with current events, another podcast special with high conspiracies because I was hot. Times I've been to college, celebrity encounters, which I need to meet more celebrities. Because then I could do a celebrity encounters part 2. Maybe, you never know, I might meet Chris Clemens. Yes, I had to bring him up. Sorry. I love his podcast. Like, I haven't listened to it in a while, but I definitely love his podcast. Like, he is could definitely be a comedian. Like, I love his videos of him doing interviews on the side of the road. Like, I just love all of the stuff. Like, all of his his podcast episodes are super funny, and like my podcast style and his podcast style are definitely different. Like, he just talks. Like, I've noticed a lot of podcasts have just done like talks. Like, mine in a way is like a talking, but mine has like a set like main topic. Like, we could branch off, but as long as we talk about the main thing, like today is about podcasts. Another thing that I've learned about podcasting is that you're allowed to branch off. Like, it's your rules, so it's your podcast. Like, you can do whatever you want with it, besides porn. That, you know. Now I'm wondering if people actually like do like ASMR sex. I'm not gonna look that up because yeah, no. Um, but the next ones are bettering myself, first YouTube videos, and the last one, which was last week's episode, is TikToks. So yeah, I'm definitely editing the title. No, cancel. Yeah, I'll keep it the title like that. What in the heck? But we're gonna go ahead and take another break and be right back with an article about podcasting. So I am back. Let's go ahead and pull up another page and find like how to start. How the frick did it know? Easy step by step guide on how to start a podcast. If you're looking for a guide that walks you through how to start a podcast, you're absolutely in the right place. Starting a podcast isn't difficult, but there is a number of steps you'll need to go through in order to get it out of my way, ad. You'll need to go through in order to get it launched. In this podcasting tutorial, we'll walk you through every step of the process, choosing a topic and name, show and episode format, cover art creation, intro and outro music, equipment selection, audio recording and editing, submission to Apple Podcasts or iTunes, promotion tips, and much more. So I go through Spreaker, which I pay for the monthly pro plan. I only pay $8 a month, and in order to put ads in and all of that, it is definitely very helpful. Podcasting is a much less crowded and competitive space than blogging, making now the perfect time to get started. As of December 2022, there are just over 2 million podcasts, but over 600 million blogs. In case you're wondering, the site that I'm reading has helped thousands of people start a podcast in the last several years and have started a few shows in different industries themselves. So they're saying to start with Buzzsprout, but like I said, Spreaker. I go through Spreaker and it's definitely a lot better. If you're to just go through like Apple Podcasts and try to sign up through there, you'd literally have to be paying $20 a month to have your podcast on there. And I'm like, no, because the place that I was about to go through was different. I forget what it was called, but it didn't have Apple Podcasts on there, or it did, but I had to. What in the hell? I had to use an RSS feed from there, and I'm like, what? So no, Spreaker definitely helps a lot. Planning. This is the initial, often overlooked stage to make a podcast. You'll want to spend a good amount of time here before you move on. Feel free to get out a notebook or a whiteboard so you can start planning your podcast like a pro. Choose a topic. You want your podcast to be focused on a particular topic or niche. Try to narrow it down to something you can speak about for many episodes, 100 plus, but that isn't so broad that you won't appeal to your potential audience. For example, instead of having an outdoor podcast talk about hiking or even more specific, like hiking 14ers? Huh? You can always expand your topic later as you get more popular. Important. See the section about choosing a name to make sure you don't limit yourself. Pick a co-host, which is optional. I don't always have a co-host. A lot of the time, well, I don't have a co-host. I'm just the host of it all. And I've been trying to get guests on, but like a lot of the times our schedules don't line up, and I don't always film on the same, like record on the same day every week. So it definitely depends, and it's definitely crazy. And if you didn't understand what I said it's definitely crazy. Do you have a friend, business partner, or coworker that you want to co-host with? It can be much easier to start podcasting if you have a co-host, which is true to a point. You will naturally have a more engaging conversation if you both share your points of view on a topic, which is why I usually like to have guests, but I've only ever done 2 episodes with guests. I want to start doing like podcasts with like more guests on, starting like next year, but I don't know how that's gonna go, especially because I'm about to be doing like working heavily on another project shortly, and it is gonna be hectic. I know I will not stop podcasting or doing my YouTube channel. I will just have a lot of other stuff going on. As usual, when do I not? You'll naturally have more engaging conversation if both of you share your points of view. It can also be helpful to have someone to keep things on track, which is definitely helpful. Because it doesn't always happen. Plus, you can split additional tasks of editing, promoting, and more. Which, yeah, that's the downside of being the only host, is that I have to do marketing. I have to edit, which editing doesn't take that long. I did have somebody offer to edit for me, but I don't make enough to be able to pay them, so I declined. Um, there can be downsides though. You'll want to make sure both of you are committed to it for a long term, and it helps to set a schedule from the beginning so you know when you will be recording every week, which doesn't always happen. Which is why I like being the only host, because then I get to make my own schedule, because I also have filming for my YouTube channel, I have editing, I have studying, which I have to study for a test coming up soon, and it is definitely the last test, so I have to definitely do good on it. There aren't rules here though. If your co-host drops off, you could still continue the podcast without them, or you could start solo and add a co-host later. The important thing is to just get started, so let's choose a name. If you look at the top Apple podcast charts, you see a variety of different names. Some are descriptive of what the show is about, while others don't mean much. The author said, I'm actually going to seemingly contradict what I said earlier. You want to choose a name that is broader than your topic. For me, each episode is a different topic, so because it's a different experience in my life. So that's why it works to have for me to be the only host, because and then and just randomly have like guests on, because it's like I'm the main character. Well, not main character. Not me being a Leo. Not me being a Leo. No, I'm not pissed anymore. I mean, I kind of still am, but whatever. Like, it wasn't the site that closed me out. It was more of the fact that my computer likes to close me out of sites, which is annoying. So, using the hiking example earlier, if we choose the 14er cast as your name, what happens when we want to talk about backpacking and ultralight camping too? So instead, choose a name that will let you expand if you decide to later. Maybe Mountain Adventures above and below 14,000 feet. What? 14,000 above? That just seems crazy. Done. And how am I fucking getting dirt in them? Makes no sense. Makes no sense whatsoever. So that name... So I also said purchase a domain name. It opens that opens in a new tab for your podcast. Another option is to get a free domain name with a Bluehost web hosting plan. How about no? I didn't pay for a domain name. I just went through Spreaker. You can search. Yeah, no. Show format, length. You'll find a number of experts claim that certain lengths are perfect for podcasts. The problem is that's just BS. You don't need a 28-minute podcast because that's the average driving time, or under an hour because people can't pay attention longer than that. There are literally 5-minute podcasts and there are 6-hour podcasts. Find whatever works for you and run with it. What I would try to avoid is making it longer than it needs to be because you went off topic for 15 minutes. Honey, podcasting, going off topic, that's literally podcasting in itself. Like, as long as you bring yourself back to the main topic, it's whatever. Style. Interview shows are popular, but that doesn't mean you have to do one. You can do solo or co-hosted shows half the time and interview shows the other half. One big benefit of doing interviews is that they help a ton with getting new listeners, especially if you make it easy for your guests to share the pre-written templates and graphics, which I don't have any. We just be freeballing. Not literally. Not literally. Episode format. So what does a specific episode sound like? Excuse me? Get creative with this part. Different segments make it easier to share small clips on social media too. But remember that for every episode you put out, you will have both repeat listeners and new listeners, so you should try to speak to both of them. Preparation. Now that you've written down your topic, formats, and secured a domain name, we'll need to get a few things prepared ahead of launch. Create cover art, which mine was fun. I like preparing the outfit. Oh my god, I planned my outfit. I literally had recently gotten my cartilage pierced. So I was able to do like a dangle in it, which you guys see all the time. I edited it myself, which was a lot of work, but it worked. Your cover art is the first impression most people will see as they browse through Apple Podcasts or their favorite podcast app, which you guys can listen to my podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, not Pandora yet. I'm still trying to get on Pandora. I don't know how long it's gonna take. I might have to email the Pandora AMP team because it's been taking way too long. So yeah, you can listen to it on Apple Podcast and Spotify are the main ones, but you can pretty much listen to it anywhere you listen to podcasts. It might also be the image someone sees when you share your show on social media. Buzzsprout has written an excellent article about designing cover art, so I would definitely start there. No, I would not. You'll get hundreds of different designers. Oh, if you have a little bit of a budget, I, the writer highly recommends 99 designs to get yours created. You'll get hundreds of different designers to produce a draft, and then you can choose the ones you like to have them further refined. Get a professional intro, which is optional. I use another app and just did it that way. Music radio creative is the best place to oh shoot to get professional quality voiceovers and intros, but we're gonna stop there and take a break because we might need it. So I guess I chose a really long article because I'm not even halfway through. But pretty much all that it's saying is like, get a professional intro. Well, it's not necessarily a professional intro. You can make it yourself, the intro yourself. Having a third party introduce you just takes your perceived value up a notch, which is great. A great way to stand out when first starting a podcast. Huh? Yeah, I ain't paying extra. Choose intro music. Premium beat for podcast music. It's easy to search and you'll get a full license and they have a bunch of different styles. Take a look. No. Get a microphone, which is an obvious one. I have my mic that I've been using for a while. So it's not that big of a deal. It still works, so that is a plus. Sometimes it switches itself off, but it was a $20 mic. I'm not complaining. I will eventually invest probably next year in a better mic. So, yeah. Podcast guests, if you are doing an interview show, now is the time to get a list together of who you want on your podcast. Then start reaching out to them. It can help to use a service like Acuity scheduling so people can book right on your calendar when it's convenient for you. This saves the headache of going back and forth working out a meeting time and means you can focus on getting more guests. Plus, you can ask them for certain info like their Skype username or an intro you can read when they schedule with you. To record your interviews when you're not in person, or if your co-host doesn't record in the same room with you, I'd recommend Zoom. Recording and editing. I record on my computer with a lot of how about this? No. None of that. I just record it on my Dell laptop and that is it. I'm not pay and then it's after editing it's time to launch. Get a podcast host, like a hosting site. I use Spreaker, but evidently you get a $20. No, I don't care. I use Spreaker, which it literally lets you upload to almost every single podcasting site that you could think of. even the like backhole ones, not backhole, but upload your first episode. If you Spreaker, it literally allows you to upload MP3. If it's a short enough file, like it's a short enough episode, you should be able to upload it with as like the video file. But I used a video to MP3 because obviously I'm filming it, so it takes a lot more to edit, but it's worth it. But I use editing software that goes video to MP3, so I'm able to upload the MP3 file up to Spreaker, so it works out like that. And it allows you to actually schedule when you want to upload your podcast, so it helps. Submit to Apple Podcasts, which once you have Spreaker, it allows you to you don't have to really do anything. Even with Apple Podcasts, it automatically uploads it. You're able to sign up for free with Apple Podcasts, like I was saying, instead of paying the $20, which is definitely helpful, especially when you're trying to budget. And you don't want to be paying $28 for something like that. And it also allows you to upload post on Twitter, YouTube, all of that beforehand. Well, not beforehand, but when it gets posted. That way you don't have to really do anything. I still mark it on my Instagram, on the Instagram page for this podcast for First Chances with Chance. But I do videos, I do all of that, and it's not bad. Recommended steps after starting a podcast. Your job isn't done once you start a podcast. Here are, they have recommendations like create a website with podcast or a podcast page, which is a website builder, and hosting all in one. Oh my god, why am I yawning so much? Made specifically for podcasts, kind of like Wix, but designed for the needs of podcasters. No coding is necessary. You just choose one of their themes, customized to your liking, and optionally integrate email marketing or Google Analytics. You can add pages or blog posts, customize your audio player, and make it easy for your visitors to subscribe. It works with any podcast hosting provider, and pricing is fair, starting at $80 a year or $8 a month. That's not too bad. Get transcriptions. Transcriptions are an excellent way for search engines like Google to read your podcast episodes. They also give your audience another way to look something up quickly. Create show notes. Embed your episode. And the article is by Ross Wynn, the founder of Podcast Insights, the industry-leading podcast education site. He has helped thousands of people start and grow a podcast and loves to test out new gear and software. So if you guys would like to start your own podcast, feel free. So if you guys want to leave your guys' stories, and even if you guys have your own podcast, just text or leave a voicemail to 561-320-7085. Again, text or leave a voicemail to 561-320-7085. DM. You can also DM First Chances with Chance on Instagram, or if you guys are watching the video portion of this episode, just comment down below. Bye guys, love you!